For this lesson, we will talk about property valuation. How do you value a property? How do you know what a property is worth? There are three primary methods. First one we'll start with is the sales comparison method. Sales comparison is what you're going to use a lot for if you're flipping houses or if you're rehabbing a house. Oftentimes people use this for residential. Go ahead and spell it out fully. Or if it's something they're holding short term as opposed to a long-term hold. So the way the sales comparison works is you have an area. Say this is your neighborhood. Now you've got an area. Here's some streets, some little houses. Here's the house that you're gonna buy and probably sell after you fix it up or whatever you do. Alright, let's say there's another house right down here, same kind of house, same number of square feet, very similar location. This sold for $215,000 within the last 6 months. Then there's another one over here that sold for, let's say, $190,000 in the last 6 months. Alright, so if you use the sales comparison method, you will value this house that you're buying or selling based on other sales that have occurred of similar houses, similar buildings in that same area. That is the sales comparison method. Another method that you'll use is the capitalization method. So we've talked about cap rate before. If you need a refresher, you can go back to the video where we talk about cap rate, price, and NOI. So the capitalization method pretty much looks at the cap rate. What is the cap rate for a given area? Is it 8% cap rate? Are you in an area with a 12% cap rate? So you want to find what your cap rate is in your area and figure out what the property is worth based on that. Pretty much, if you're buying a cash flowing property, think of it like this. What you're doing is buying an income stream. So what you want to do is figure out what's the NOI. Once you have the NOI figured out, and you know what the cap rate is for a certain area, let's say you're in an area with a 10% cap rate, then you can find the price, how much that property is worth. So let's just go ahead and say that you've got a property with an NOI of $50,000. Your area has a 10% capitalization rate. That's what properties are selling for. So your price will be $500,000. The way that we got to that number was by taking the NOI and dividing it by 0.1. Once again, if you need a refresher on how the capitalization or how the cap rate works in relation to NOI and price, you can refer back to one of our previous videos. Let's go ahead and separate these guys. Okay, so method 1, sales comparison. Method 2, capitalization method. Method 3 is called replacement cost method. So you've got an office building. You're thinking about buying it. If you're going to use the replacement cost method to figure out how much to pay for this office building, you want to find out how much it would cost to build a brand new office building. Okay? How much would it cost to build a brand new office building in a location near the one where you're buying it on land that is just as desirable or has as little desirability as the original office building, and also to build it with the same quality of materials. It's pretty much imagine all things are the same. How much would it cost to build an office building exactly the same as this one? That's how you use the replacement cost method. So this one isn't used a whole lot. Mainly what you'll use is the sales comparison and capitalization method. Once again, if you have any questions about these methods, look it up online. You can also shoot me a message and I'll be happy to elaborate. If you guys have any comments, if you've noticed something that I've done wrong here, or if you have any expanding to do on these concepts, please leave a comment, and thank you for watching.